craft of writing, it is important to know that just talent isn't enough. You really need to have a technique in place and a little craft that must be applied to make the book readable and enjoyable to your readers. A lot of writers have the entire plot line figured out, and some of them even have the skill to break it down into chapters even before they get started. I, on the other hand, am not that sophisticated at this skill. I am a writer who writes by instinct and intuition. So when I was writing Love in the Time of Affluenza, I had assigned faces to my characters by then. Some of them were faces from Bollywood, some of them were people I knew of Instagram, because that sort of helped me to imagine them well and create a dialogue between them. And then I started writing and developing the plot as I went along. Now, this is actually a more laborious and a lengthier task, but that's the only way that I know. And if you are like me, it will help if you review your work every week after you've written it, not every day, because then you'll just be stuck in the process of editing and you'll never really get past the first chapter. So when I was writing Love in the Time of Affluenza's manuscript for the first time, I would write a few chapters and then bounce them off my very, very sharp and capable editor, and she would send me feedback. And that's how we moved from one chapter to the next to the next. And by the end of it, I really had my book ready with me. I would advise that you take the advice of a discerning friend if you don't have an editor. The other important thing is that when you read novels, this is especially true for voracious readers, and I'm guessing that everybody on Wattpad reads a lot. When you're reading other people's work, don't just get too wrapped up in the story and start enjoying it. If you want to be a writer, read it from a little distance so you can see what is the craft that writer, your favorite writer, has employed. Where has he created the conflict? What part of the story is putting you to sleep, and what part of the story is leaping at you and making you want to just go on reading it? That will teach you a thing or two about writing fiction.